Oh, the clock is ticking. It's coming down. I know the exact number. I just looked it up. How many more merchants we need to hit that 100,000 of EPX merchants is right in our system. I see that number. I log in. I'm like, oh, it's getting so close. But the question is, are you going to be part of it? Whether you become the 100,000th merchant and make a $25,000 extra, or you just be part of what happens in July and make a break of the $75,000 extra bonuses on top of all of our regular bonuses. We are celebrating like we've never celebrated before. In fact, we're even going to take a cruise around the river. We're going to take some time in Chicago. We're going to take some time on Lake Michigan on August. Yeah, on July. I've already made July 30th, Thursday, July 30th. See, I'm already screwed up. But if you submit business right now to PayProTec, you can get up and running. Earlier on our office hours, we talked about how we've seen our partners go from application to first transaction in 15 minutes. It's literally possible. Now, it is not possible in the POS world. Don't try to walk in carrying two, servers under your arms, a couple extra stations, and think, hey, I'm going to application and set this all up in 15 minutes. But you can make sure that you average it doing it in 21 days. And if you do all the work, if you do all the prep that we're going to talk about today, you can do it in 21 days. But I'm not going to be the one to tell you all this. It's the man on the right-hand side of your screen wearing the bowling pin shirt, making sure that he knows that he could bowl a 300 if he walked out this door into this heat. He could probably do it. He's ready to do it. Mr. Matt Proctor. Matt, how are you? And are you going to bowl a 300 tonight?
I will not be bowling tonight, but I did have my second 300 earlier this year. So I know that I can walk out and do it at any given time, which is a nice feeling. But yeah, this is my ode to the weather, my Hawaiian bowling shirt, ready to rock and roll, man. I'm excited. Definitely today we want to really drill down how we can more effectively get our merchants up and processing within this 21-day window, or sooner, Nate, or sooner, depends on the situation.
Well, I was using this, Matt, as the kind of picture of this. I know, also watch The Bear. And in The Bear, they always are talking within the kitchen. Every second counts. And by across our average, around every extra day, and some of this can be more, but every extra day makes you an extra $32. So if you can cut days off and get them up and processing, that's $32. You start doing that for multiple merchants, you do 20 POS deals a year, and you do 10 extra days, that starts making a real difference. And as you keep rolling and rolling, so being prepared is extremely important to do this. We talked about the application. You're interested in what you can do to make sure your application gets approved easily, and that's the key of getting a terminal up and running in 15 minutes. We talked about that in office hours. Today, we're going to talk about the process from demo to activation. So let's start at the beginning of the process. You go into POS lead, you put in a lead, and you're setting up a demo. What should the partner have ready to make sure the demo goes smoothly, to get that transaction going so we can get to the contract phase? What are the key steps for making that first step and getting a demo of a POS done to make sure we're going fast and smooth?
Yes, so please, guys, confirm the actual demo time. If you can be on site with the merchant at their location, the show rate is so much higher, okay? They know you're going to be there. They're going to be there. You have your laptop out, get it ready so that they're not fumbling around trying to figure out how to join the demo. Okay, so that's first and foremost. If you can't be there, if it's farther away, that's fine too, but make sure you're texting with them or calling. My team also does a good job too. So first and foremost, we need to get them to show up for the demo. And once they show up for the demo, we can get them closed right there. Okay, and we're on the demo, we're trying to find out exactly what hardware they need, what features they need. Okay, we're not going to talk price. We're going to do that with you later. Okay, but we want to confirm that everything is in place, and we want to set their expectations, because we're talking about this time frame now. That's something we want to discuss with the merchant too, so that, because we need their help. So we're going to let them know you're going to see a DocuSign come out, from Morgan. We're going to need a copy of your menu. If it's a restaurant, we're going to need a copy of the menu. We're going to need a voided check. We want to get those things out there right away, because that's what slows down a deal, is us not having it. And then we're going to let them know, hey, your agent's going to take care of you, get that merchant account set up so we know where to send your money, get that to you. And boom, we laid out all these expectations so they know what's coming next. Okay. Then we move forward with that DocuSign to get that contract signed. We're even telling them, hey, after you sign the DocuSign, we're going to shoot you an invoice for that upfront payment of maybe $200, whatever the shipping might be, okay? Because we're probably giving them a discount. So by telling them all of that, just on that demo time. not only have we sold it, we've set the expectations and made them feel comfortable of what's going to happen over the next 14 to 21 days. So that's the beginning, Nate.
Yeah,
You
that's
guys
the
got to
beginning.
be good at joining the demos.
And a lot of that is making sure that you're prepared ahead of time, that you've had good communication. And when you get to that contract phase, so this DocuSign goes out, and we see this all the time. They've agreed on the phone call, but then they wait to sign. And so what are the key things to get that contract signed? Because you can't move forward until they sign that contract and pay that first invoice. What are some of the things and tips and tricks you would give to make sure we get to that step? And to make sure that goes as smoothly and as fast as we possibly can.
Yeah, and that's where it comes down from our partners, because we actually can't send the invoice, guys. It's important for everyone listening. We cannot send the invoice until we have an approved MID. And so that's where we have this great marriage together and partnership, because we're letting them know on the demo, please get with Chris or Joe or Kathy, whoever it might be, and they're going to get you set up on that processing account. We need to get that up and approved, and then we can move forward with ordering the point of sale system, sending the invoice and all that. So we're trying to help get them to that finish line with you. And we're basically just telling them, okay, you like this software, can't do anything until you move forward with the application process. And so that's important for all of our agents to know. Now, does that mean you have to, no matter what, have an MID before you submit a lead? No, not at all. Okay, if it's just a new business, whatever, toss in a lead so we can start working on it. But as far as moving forward, that's where we count on you. And you guys can go through that process as soon as we got that green light, sign them up in that 15 minutes, like Nate said earlier.
Yeah. So now we've got the MID, we've got the contract out that's been signed. There's paying the invoice, and the partner is following up. Now, this is where we see that is true for 99.9%. Maybe there's some caveat I can't think of, but most that first stage. Now we have a little caveat where things change. There's differences whether you're doing retail, whether you're doing restaurant. What are the things? Let's start in the restaurant hospitality area. What should a partner be ready to do to make this go as fast as possible? That boom, we have a signed contract, we have a signed or a paid invoice, we got the upfront, we're making the orders. What should the partner be doing to get the restaurants up and running fast?
Yes, restaurants, guys, we have to have the menu, and depending on the system, some of our systems, we need a voided check. So right away, we need to get those. I don't care if it's a copy of the to-go menu that you're taking a picture with. We need something for the programmers to set the structure, okay, of their programming, their categories, okay, the departments, all these basic things. They have to have that to start programming. The contracts we have with some of our POS partners, we can't even order a system with them if we don't have that, and we need to upload that to them. All right, so with any restaurant, we have to have the menu. Okay, that just slows us down if they say, well, we're redoing it, but that's okay. Give me what you got right now. All right, let's get that up and going. And with Quick, our most popular restaurant system, we have to get that voided check. Okay, they need to know for billing purposes. And so that's something that you guys can help us with right away. Now, Nate, I do want to say one thing. We have confusion sometimes where some agents will say, the DocuSign was signed, and now they're like, well, where's the system? When's it getting it? If you don't see the welcome email go out, okay, that means we're still missing something. Like right now, just today, I look at multiple deals that we have that are sitting where we're waiting for something. Okay, we're waiting for a menu, we're waiting for the voided check. Okay? We don't want to go down that road where now your merchants are just waiting. So that's why we're having this discussion. Let's get those things ahead of time so that it's just clicking and it's smooth. Welcome email goes out from Morgan. You guys are included in it. That means the order is placed. Sorry if I'm jumping ahead, Nate.
No, that's very good. So let's take we went right, now we'll go left. Let's talk retail. What are some of the important things? We've got to the signed contract. We got the payment. What are retail? What are the key things to make sure the next steps get taken care of properly?
So retail is definitely easier. Technically, we don't have to have their inventory loaded ahead of time or sent to our point of sale partners on the retail side. Now, with that being said, if we can get their inventory exported out of their existing system. Maybe it's the first time ever using a POS and they got it written down on a spreadsheet or something. That makes their lives so much easier. It makes the implementation process, that first 21 days, they're so much smoother. Okay, so I implore you, please try to get that inventory, whether they're using Clover or Lightspeed or whatever they're using. Try to get them to be able to export. You should be able to with any POS. All right, so we got the SKUs, we got the items, and then our retail systems are going to help upload that. Okay, so we want their help. If we just submit it and we never have anything with inventory, obviously they're still going to help the merchant and try and get things loaded, but it slows everything way down. Okay, so the answer, I guess, is, do we have to have inventory? No, we can place that order with Corona or Retail Cloud or Greta, but it's going to greatly slow down the process as they're then scrambling to try to work with the merchant instead of us just getting some over to them. And we have examples, guys, of each of these. So Retail Cloud, we have an example. Here's what it should look like. They can actually take it and just fill it in. Same thing with Corona. Same thing with Greta. So yeah, please work on the inventory, guys. A little bit different than a menu for a restaurant.
Yeah. So obviously in restaurant, you can have a menu as small as like an In-N-Out menu where you have a few, 20 items and a few changes, and you can have a Cheesecake Factory. And but at the end of the day, they're all generally the same. On retail, are there, you have the boutique that is selling 6 different pieces of clothing and 12 different pairs of shoes versus a liquor store or even bigger grocery store where the SKUs are in the tens of thousands, if not pushing hundreds of thousands. What are some of the differences? There are differences there, I would imagine, when it comes to making sure, and even how more prepped you need to be. You don't have to have an inventory, but certainly if you're going to get it done in 21 days and you have 100,000 SKUs and a lot of unique issues, you should be prepped. What are some of the things they should be thinking about when it comes to the inventory, whether it's a small to very large retail location?
Yeah. So that's a great question. Keep an eye on the time, guys, because we've sold everything, like Nate said, from the small all the way up to the multi-location, very large retail stores. Can they take longer? Yes, they can, but usually that's because of whatever format we get their inventory in, and that's where that example comes to play. Okay, because we have a couple right now that when we're uploading their inventory and our POS team is assisting them, it's added in extra zeros, or what they had before is not in the same format. So then that takes some time because then our point of sale team is spending extra hours with them working on correcting these formats and things like that. So that's where that template really comes in, knowing of here's how we want them to be done, or else it can slow things down. With the smaller boutiques, obviously much faster. Some of them just want some quick pick buttons. I got a blouse and here pops up the colors or whatever it might be. But yeah, the SKUs can be a challenge. Also the vendors, keep that in mind. If it's a larger location, that means they probably have more vendors. They might want purchase orders. Okay, they're going to need receiving and things like that. So keep in mind, have some patience, give them a little more time because it might take them a full 2 weeks just of training and implementation and uploading. So remember to set those expectations ahead of time, please.
All right. So now expectations. That's always such a key word. So across everything, it's a business word because you want to fulfill, you want to under promise and over deliver at all times. So we're setting that up. We get to the place where we're actually starting to see, we've seen orders, we've started to put menus in. Let's go switch back over to the restaurant side. So the menu's been turned in, the placement for the hardware has been made. What are our next steps and what can the partner be doing to make sure we're moving smoothly after we've already made the purchase of the hardware and the menus been turned in and all the voided checks and any of those other steps that we need to do? Now we're looking at start working on the process. What are things important for the partner to be involved in?
Yes. So number one thing that we have to have in restaurants, and one of the challenges, open communication with our point of sale partner. Okay. And I say this because it can greatly slow things down on the restaurant side because a lot of times the owner's busy. I mean, they're busy running the business. Maybe they got other businesses they're doing. Getting someone in that restaurant, let's just say, to communicate directly. It doesn't have to be the owner. Sometimes it's the general manager is the point person. Okay? Some of our best offices, some of our best PPT offices, they're very hands-on and they go there with them. And sometimes they even want to be the point of contact just to help it be smoother for the owner. Because if they can't get in touch with the owner and they miss different meetings, they miss the menu review, next thing you know, it just drags out. You're not getting paid. Right? The owner's not getting set up in a time frame. Then they're like, what the heck is going on? So where you can really help us out, making sure they communicate. Okay, our systems within 48 hours, they're reaching out to them. From once we place that order, they're wanting to reach out right away. I mean, I can tell you that all of our softwares, they don't want to get up and running in 21 days. They want to get up and run sooner, okay, which is great. 21 is just extended if we need it. But Quick POS, for example, they're reaching out to them within that first 2 days, introducing themselves to the project manager, then going through and scheduling out the menu review because they've already programmed. Okay, so making sure they're involved, making sure that if they are not the main contact, we have the contact person, and that's totally fine. Okay, so have that conversation with them, guys. If they'd rather have a GM take the role or a manager, we just need to know so we can let Quick know, or whatever system, Mint, Hot Sauce, Paradise. So yeah, that's the kind of the best thing for the next steps, Nate. And then it's getting ready for installation and go live. And while we're on the restaurant topic, I want to make sure everyone understands this on this call. Installation is different than go live. We don't want them on the same day. Okay, and here's why. When you do a full installation, okay, whether we need someone on site or whether it's just a plug and play, that's their time then to play with it. That's time to do training. It's time for them to ring up some orders, find out what might be missing. Oh, hey, we realize there's a couple modifiers we want to add in here. This is where Quick is taking more notes because even though they did menu review, they might find some other little things. Okay. Then after a day or 2 days, usually it's only 1 or 2 days of them playing with it and training, then we do the go live. Okay. If you do them the same day, it can cause nothing but problems because they install, then customers walk in an hour later. They're like, let's go. And then they get frustrated because he rings stuff up and they're like, well, wait a minute, I don't like the way this looks. Or, I think I'm missing something here. All because they tried to push it at the same time. So please keep that in mind, guys. Installation separate from go live, doesn't matter what restaurant system. We want to set them up for success.
Like it. Like it. All right. So let's talk a little bit before pre-installation, post-inventory. Let's switch over to the retail side. We're back on the left side looking to try to make these bodegas and liquor stores and grocery stores go as fast as possible. What are steps as we enter in the ordering phase and the beginning pre-installation? What are things that are important for the partner to be involved in on the retail?
Really, I'm just helping them with the inventory. And thankfully, most of our larger retail merchants, Nate, are all utilizing some type of mobile scanner, whether that's Greta, Corona, Retail Cloud. They're using some type of mobile scanner. And we have some of our best agents, they just help them with it. Hey, I see they've already uploaded all this, but you said you're still adding a few things. I can help with that. I can walk around your store and scan a few things, make sure they're in. Let's check our prices. Little things like that really speaks volumes. And that goes back to that, under promising, over delivering. They weren't expecting you to do that. But now they're like, wow, okay, you're invested in really helping me get this up and running. When it comes to retail, making sure that they have every last little discount set up. If they need EBT, get EBT set up. Okay, making sure their dual pricing is correct. A customer-facing display is a big thing. Let's make sure that's working and looks good. Maybe has their logo in there. Okay, you don't need that kind of stuff for a restaurant. Make sure the driver's license barcode scanner is working if that's what they're wanting to use. So now we're kind of tweaking and checking out kind of the hardware a little more, where the restaurant, I got 2 or 3 stations, they all look the same and they all run the same. In retail, I might only have 1 checkout or maybe 2. So I want that to look beautiful. I want everything to work and be seamless. And that's where you can really help them. Finalize inventory, make sure you're testing everything. And the good thing about retail, you won't ever hear from them again. Just keep going in there and saying hi to them and checking on them. But once they get the retail up and going, they'll be good for years.
All right. So let's Stay on the retail side before we switch back over to the restaurant side. So on the retail
Okay.
side, installation, obviously there is a big difference between small retail and large retail and the amount of work it takes. And if you're going full grocery store and doing lines and everything like that, but kind of set some expectations for installation. What are the key things? How does installation and go live different in retail than restaurant, and things that they may be able to do to help facilitate and set those expectations for the owners and the managers of the retail institutions?
Yeah, I love that question. So it is very different in the retail environment. Um, as of right now, we only have one system that will actually has the ability and bandwidth to be able to send someone on site. With that being said, we'll say Corona and Retail Cloud. Okay, our top two retail systems, both are meant to be plug and play. Both are have trainings already scheduled and set up far before the hardware ever gets there. Okay, so they want to go ahead and show them their database. They want to see, do you like the way this looks? What do you want to add? They want to put their employees in everything so that once that the hardware arrives, they literally just have an Ethernet line there. That's all they need. Okay, outlet for power, Ethernet line. They walk them through setting everything else up. Okay, very streamlined. We just did a 12 location smoke shop. They set up every one of their Corona systems quickly and easily. Then they played with it and added things for about 2 days before they went live. All locations went live. All were thrilled. Okay, but we have to set the expectations that there's not going to be someone from Corona here. They're going to be on the phone with us, but if you as an agent want to be very hands-on, we encourage that. If you want to go and once you do it, you'll feel much more comfortable at a location. As of right now, Greta POS just changed their model since we've been partnering with them. They were not happy with the third party that they were using to install, so they got rid of them. And now Greta themselves will be sending someone on site for every single Greta install moving forward. So it'll actually be a Greta person there to help plug everything in, test the terminals, test out the detailed printers and the scales and all of that. They're not there to run lines. They have to have those lines in place. We always make sure they know that. But they're there for testing, install, especially when you got 2 or 3 checkout lanes, you got the butcher counter. It can be complicated. I mean, I would like to see one done in person. I haven't had a chance yet, but I'm excited to see one installed in person, just to kind of get used to the logistics of it. So keep that in the back of your head, guys. If they have to have someone on site or they feel more comfortable with that, we're going to want to steer towards Greta from the beginning.
All right, so back over the restaurant side, we're looking at the restaurants and we're into the installation and we're getting ready to put the installation and we're trying to get to that go live. You've already shared with us that those are two distinct things. Tips and tricks to make sure that installation goes smoothly, everything, and then obviously where we're trying to. 21 days to go live, trying to get that first transaction running through that machine. What are tips to getting to that go live?
One tip that I always like to tell, the owners and the management staff is just have your staff there. And I'm not saying that, I got a staff of 18 people. I need all of them to be there at the same time. No, but make sure that when it's time, even just for installation day, yes, have your management there. Yes, have your head bartender, your main staff. Do my line cooks need to see it? No, they're just going to be clocking it out. But go ahead and have them there. The more they have time to play with it and get comfortable with it, the better and happier everyone's going to be. Okay, because it's a nightmare for the owner if their staff doesn't like it. Then they're going to sit and just blah 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 and complain all the time. And we can get rid of that by just having them there from the very beginning. Okay, so they start playing with it. Ooh, this is different than our last one. Ooh, I like this. I like this. I find that's easier than just kind of dropping it on them like on the go live. And so I encourage, hey, this is the day we're going to install. Can we have, some of your people here just so I can see as it's getting hooked up? Plus, it's nice because then they see how it's wired, so they know, like, if you need to troubleshoot it, here's how it was all plugged in. So that's what I encourage for restaurants, Nate, is the more their staff can be involved from the very beginning, the happier everyone is.
Yep. Yeah, and that talk a little bit about making sure um, the follow up after that first day, because the first day is always going to be chaotic, even if everything's gone perfect. What are key things to make sure that the steps are in place to know what they need, if they need further training, further changes, they realize when they got into a live something needed to changes. What are things that to make, because we don't want to just process for one, we want to process for thousands and thousands of days. How do we make sure restaurants are ready to get that support they need?
I could speak to this personally from last time I, set up a restaurant locally here at POS. I would say I was there on and off for the first 3 to 5 days, and they didn't need me there all that time. But I was checking back. I was making sure it's okay. I made sure they were trained, okay, because I didn't want them to have to call in to a 1-800 number if they want to add a button. They should know how to do that. Okay, now, thankfully, our systems all do that with them. They train them. And that's what we want to make sure that you guys set the expectation. You have them join these trainings, because if anyone's running a business, they should be able to know how to go and at least tweak little things in their system. And when I say little things, it's like that, adding a modifier, changing the price of a button. Those things, if you do it right and we do it right, then within that first day or two, there's nothing else to change or add. And if they do, they can do it on their own. And when I say the first 3 to 5 days, guys, it doesn't mean I spent hours and hours there. I had other stuff to do, just like you guys are busy. Okay? But it meant I went to lunch. And then after lunch, later on after work, I stopped in there later just to see how the lunch shift, you know, ended up. How is the reporting? Are you happy with all this? And that's it. I'm going in to eat and frequent the place and give them money, but also to hold their hand and make sure they're good with the software.
Perfect.
So
And
that's my opinion.
and then over to retail. As we finish and we're now getting into the installation and into the activity, are there things, um, you know, that go into that? And I would, especially talking about those who are largers, like probably our Greta installations, where there's, multiple, departments, and you have the butcher shop and you have the deli and you have the, and different things that are in that. What are some of the, start with the small and then go to the large? What are the things that we want to make sure our partners know to be able to get this done as fast as possible for our retail friends?
To be honest with retail, I think about just a little differently. When I check back with the retail, I want to know what things they really like about the software. If there's something maybe they don't like that we can help with, that we can tweak it, because these retail systems are so I mean, they're complex. They're amazing. Some of the features it can do. And so whenever I follow up with some of our retail merchants, I want to get that feedback from them. Restaurants a little easier. That's my wheelhouse. I can tell whether they love it or not, and what needs to be tweaked on that. But in retail, I definitely want to know, are you doing mix and match pricing? How's that working for you? Do you know how to add this? Do you know how to, add a new employee? Once again, I want to make sure they're trained and that there's that comfort level with the system. Okay, because that's a great thing about retail, is that they just want a system that works. They just want to scan and ring people up and have good inventory, and they'll never call you. It's not like restaurants. Restaurants always have something they want to freak out about. So yeah, on the retail side, I just want to make sure they're trained properly and see what they like, and if there's anything that we need to tweak for them. That's my suggestion.
And what did I miss? My favorite question at the end. What did I forget to ask to help our partners speed up the process and but also make it go smoothly? Because it's not just about being fast; it's about getting it done right the first time. What did I miss? Whether it's retail or hospitality or other POS solutions, we didn't, some of our subsets like salons and some of that stuff. Anything I missed that would be helpful for our partners to think through and being as speedy as possible from demo to activation.
Yeah. Well, let's talk salons here for a minute, okay? So I'm always looking at different softwares, but Growzilla has been a longtime partner of ours, and Growzilla can be very fast, guys. But it really comes down to communication and making sure that yes, we get that contract done right away, which Growzilla sends directly to them. It's a placement program, okay? But then if they're using existing hardware, how they can be up and running in 7 to 10 days. We find that a lot where they already have a PC. If they're getting the hardware from Growzilla, we still want to get them up and running in less than that 21 day time frame. The only issue we've run in Growzilla is when they literally can't get in touch with the merchant. And a lot of times they're busy, they're salon owners. So anywhere you can help with that as the partner, for that communication is greatly appreciated. And that's very similar with GiveHub, because we do a lot of GiveHub for donations, nonprofits, churches, things like that. And what we've noticed is once we get to that point of it's sold, it's getting the right person, because a lot of times there's a board that we're dealing with, or there's multiple people. So we always want to ask and find out who will be the point person to communicate directly with GiveHub. Once we get that person, it's smooth as silk after that. And you don't have to worry about anything. GiveHub does a phenomenal job of training, programming, customizing exactly how they want. So with off industries like that, you being the middleman with communication greatly helps us. If you're not involved, you submit it and you're like, here you go, guys, sell it, and I'll see you later. Don't come back and get upset with us if we just keep leaving messages and can't get in touch with your owner. So the more you guys can help, the better.
All right. As we close out this time, closing words, we're trying to get our POS deals done as fast as possible. Patience is a virtue when it comes to POS, because there's always going to be hiccups. There are always going to be things that change. There is much more of a non-linear map than when you're setting up a terminal and doing things where literally it's just a simple piece of hardware that gets put in. But any other further encouragements for our partners of how they can get more POS done in a faster time and gain that every day counts here when you're talking about processing?
Yeah, yeah. Well, first off, guys, keep your sense of urgency. Okay, remember, you're not making money until they're up and processing. Okay, so if you help us and follow the steps that we're talking about today, like getting restaurant menus, getting void checks, getting that approved MID, then it's going to really help streamline this process. And I tell people all the time, some of our best ISOs out there, our best agents in the PPT nation, they're selling 5 to 10 a month just a point of sale, not others. They're still signing up other merchants. But the good thing is, with the backing of our team and our point of sale partners, we're doing all this for you. We're doing the paperwork and all this. So we're going to get them to the finish line. You go deal with 5 other new merchants. Okay, sign them up. There's some of our offices, Nate, that they'll have 5 demos a week just for point of sale, and that's phenomenal. And they do that because they can stagger them out. Okay, these 2 might be done in 2 weeks. These 3 might want to push back to mid-August. So they can stagger them out and still be able to handle all of it. So it's not like you do one POS deal and you feel like you can't do anything for 3 weeks. Like, no, go out and sell more, and we're going to help get that across the finish line for you. So yeah, just keep that in mind, guys. Have some patience, understand the time frame, but also give them that little sense of urgency. Like, we need to, we're going to get this going right away to help you guys out. And obviously, let us know from the very beginning time frame. That's huge. One of the first things my team will ask too: when are we looking at getting up and going? And we need to know that from the merchant, not from you guys. We need to hear it directly from the merchant. So that's one of the first things we got to find out. But yeah, have patience, guys. Utilize our team. We're here for you.
All right. It is time to finish up. And just a reminder that absolutely there's some time in the next, before the end of July, coming up quick. We're going to have our 100,000 merchant. That merchant, when they activate, will make that partner an extra 25 grand. Let you go out and do that. Let's be that person. But hey, how awesome. First time. Maybe you haven't submitted business in a while. Good time. Get an extra 25K. And then every business is submitted. You can go to myPayProTec.com/July. Learn about a little bit of qualifications you have to make sure where it's got to be profitable business. So you'll go look at that. And then you're going to be in Chicago at the on August. Keep forgetting. It's or just July 30th, 31st. That Thursday. My brain is good. Go to PayProTec.com/join and you can learn more about that. Sorry, my brain is fried. We've had a full week. Lots going on.
31st. Yes.
31st. July 31st. I don't know why my brain just lost that today. July 31st on that Thursday, 7 p.m. Go to join.PayProTec.com. Again, in order to be eligible to go to that, you have to have submitted at least one deal with PayProTec this year. We have just a couple seats left. I'm going over them yesterday. They will fill up. I'm 100%. And at this point, we have waiting list of vendors that want to come on. They want to come hang out with us, but we're trying to make it all for our partners to begin with. So come join us. It's going to be an incredible night. Thanks so much on behalf of Matt Proctor, I'm Nate Manahan. See you next time on POS Uncensored.
Hey guys.